First tonight, the tourism tug of war. The tourism minister is defending the country's tourism plan as the opposition leader remains unimpressed. We've got the latest on the back and forth. Plus, positioning Freeport to regain its rightful place as one of the leading special economic zones in the world. The executive director of the GBPA breaks down the dilemma. And later, we head on over to the Nassau Cruise Port for a night of love. The star-studded event drawing hundreds for a trip down memory lane. Entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller has the highlights. These stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Police in Eleuthera have a traffic fatality investigation on their hands tonight. According to reports, it was sometime around 7:40 p.m. on Saturday when officers responded to reports of a burning vehicle on Queens Highway off Chris Brown Boulevard. They found a green Jeep fully engulfed in flames in a bushy area. There was also a snapped utility pole nearby. After extinguishing the fire, officers discovered a burned body a short distance from the vehicle. A doctor later visited the scene and confirmed the victim's death. Meantime, a 46-year-old man is dead tonight after a drowning incident sometime after 1 p.m. on Saturday. Reports say the man was riding a jet ski in Bimini when it overturned, causing him to struggle to stay afloat. He was assisted to shore but became unresponsive. CPR was administered but proved fruitless. He was later pronounced dead at the local clinic. Police say an autopsy will be conducted to determine the cause of death. Well, a political showdown is brewing over the future of Bahamian tourism. Opposition leader Michael Pintard is criticizing the government's strategy to grow stopover visitors, claiming that while cruise arrivals are up, stopover visitors, those who spend more and stay longer, are stagnating. But Tourism Minister Chester Cooper is firing back, defending his approach. Our Delbardo Emmanuel has the latest.
I don't like to respond to political nonsense and mischief.
Tourism numbers in the Bahamas are soaring, with cruise arrivals hitting record highs. Foreign arrivals across all islands in 2023 equal to 1.72 million, surpassing the 1.67 million for air arrivals recorded in 2019 by 3.3%. Tourism Minister Chester Cooper says the problem isn't demand, but room capacity, pointing out that without more hotel rooms, the Bahamas can't accommodate more stopover visitors.
In order to truly advance growth in stopovers, we need more rooms. We're limited in room capacity. Maybe the leader of the opposition can go and invest in some hotels.
However, opposition leader Michael Pintard says that's not enough. While speaking with reporters just before entering the House of Assembly on Wednesday, Pintard argued that the government is neglecting a key sector, stopover visitors.
While we welcome any increase in numbers for cruise visitors, because any dollar spent is valuable, we don't want to make the mistake of substituting stopover visitors who suddenly become, or over time become, cruise visitors, and that is essentially what has happened.
Cooper outlines a $10 billion investment to expand tourism infrastructure with developments in Abaco, Exuma, Grand Bahama, and Eleuthera. He also highlighted initiatives supporting vacation rentals aimed at empowering Bahamians and boosting community-based tourism.
We have granted more than $500,000 through this program. At the end of last year, we've launched a second phase of this program. We are working with persons in the Airbnb, Expedia, VRBO business to help them to advance their property, step up their game, and participate actively.
Cooper says he extends an open invitation for the opposition leader to meet with tourism professionals to better understand the industry and its numbers. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
Meantime, over in the north, the recent Grand Bahama Business Outlook bringing together stakeholders, business owners, and all interested in the economic future of the island. Executive Director of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Rupert Hayward, emphasizing the importance of improving the ease of doing business with the goal of attracting foreign direct investors.
Today, there's approximately $14 billion in real terms invested in Freeport since its inception in 1955. The reality of it should and could be closer to $100 billion. But sadly, the gradual watering down of our regulatory regime, excessive red tape, guardrails on immigration, have undermined the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, which by its very existence created the Magic City. The HEA designated Freeport as a free zone, or free port, hence the name, or to use a modern term, a special economic zone, or SEZ.
Hayward noting that special economic zones, or SEZs, are nothing new, dating back to ancient Greece. However, the accolade of the first SEZ in the modern era belongs to the city of Freeport. But what does the competition look like today across the region?
In our region alone, Freeport's rivals include the many free trade zones in Jamaica, Colombia and Panama, and also Cayman Enterprise City, which has been so successful in attracting technology and other high-knowledge businesses to the Cayman Islands over the last few decades. In today's world, SEZs are common, well understood, and when properly applied, highly effective tools for socio-economic development, which is what we all need and what we all want.
Hayward breaks down the potential earnings the city is missing out on.
To give you some idea of what we in Freeport are missing out on, JAVSA is home to more than 10,700 companies from more than 100 countries around the world. This one free trade zone generates $169 billion every year in trade value.
He further poses the questions. What would it look like for Freeport to regain its rightful place as one of the leading SEZs in the world? Or for Freeport to at least scale the $3 billion stable and slated for the island to reach $30 or $40 billion every year? Lieutenant Commander of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Delvon Duncombe, speaking to members of the Rotary Club of East Nassau on the topic of discipline in conflict prevention, lessons from military training and youth programs. He says he believes youth programs are missing key components stemming from mentorship. He encouraged attendees to do more to instill positive traits, all focusing on discipline.
One of the biggest reasons young people struggle with conflict resolution is not because they are incapable of peace, but rather these young persons struggle with conflict resolution because they lack the discipline and control to fully understand what their problems are, which is themselves.
Duncombe says young people don't understand the different stages of development, and without understanding, emotions run unchecked, leading to conflict. To this end, he says there's no better place to look than to the military when talking about discipline.
If we fail to teach young people structure, respect, and endurance, we fail to equip them to handle conflicts, whether personal, professional, or social. When you lack discipline, your first response to conflict is often emotional, not logical. And that's where things spiral out of control.
Duncombe is also an author and has been active in a number of youth programs throughout his career. He says what he finds effective is a concept he calls breaking and building.
Here it is, they come from backgrounds where they've already been broken. However, what they lack is that individual that is now giving them hope. And so when you break, it is necessary to build.
But why is it important to first break?
When you now begin to remove from them what it is they think they know, what it is they believe is right, and start to pour into them those things, those core values that will cause them to be successful, then you will actually see success.
And then there's the building.
This is where mentorship, counseling, and structured training comes in. This is where goal setting replaces aimlessness. So an example of that is, instead of reacting to conflicts We teach them how to process, strategize, and respond with wisdom.
All right, well, some great advice there from Lieutenant Commander Duncombe. And here's a group that's already practicing skills to ensure a brighter future. February is recognized as a Junior Achievement Month. For decades, the nonprofit organization has been dedicated to developing high school students into future entrepreneurs. Each year, the student-led companies choose a company community service initiative. And this morning, the Grand Bahamas Shipyard SWAT Company, led by President Marissa Roberts, made a food donation to the urban renewal centers on the island.
This year, the Grand Bahamas Shipyard SWAT Company has chosen to present food items to 7 deserving families identified by the Grand Bahama Urban Renewal Center. These families have been selected with care, and it is truly an honor for us to help out and ease the burdens they may face. We've raised these non-perishable food items right here within our own company. That's right. We came together as a collective to make this happen. But we didn't stop there. We made it our mission to keep this initiative local by purchasing all the food right here on the island. We are not just giving back to the community, we're supporting our local businesses too.
Director of Programs for Urban Renewal Grand Bahama, Lloyd Grant, says they always welcome opportunities for collaboration. He says there are 7 centers on island, and the donated items will make an impact at each location.
So I just want to congratulate the Shipyard SWAT of JA for their remarkable job done here today. I want you to know that these items are going to be well received. They're going to be placed exactly where they are needed. And once again, I just want to say thank you to all of you wonderful folks for causing this to happen for our people throughout Grand Bahama. Let me also hasten to say that these packages are going to cover the entire island of Grand Bahama.
Awesome initiative, kids. Well, residents in South Eleuthera, get ready. Keep the Vibe Alive. We'll be bringing all the Rake and Scrape fun this April to your community down there in the beautiful settlement of Rock Sound. The staple in the music industry, Keep the Vibe Alive, has brought us the best in good old Rake and Scrape Bahamian music for years. And this time, Vice President of the group, Leslie Turnquest, says residents can look forward to a special treat, the Boatman KB and Friends.
A professional setup, a good time, and a lot of people. We're trying to get people to come from every island because it's the Boatman show. We got KB and many, many other artists. So we'd like for you to come down to Rock Sound in April 18th and 19th for the Rock Sound Homecoming because the show is going to be massive. Massive show. It's not going to be an ordinary homecoming show.
And with time quickly approaching, he says it's important to reserve your seat and not wait until later to get your tickets. He also shares how the concert will benefit the economy of that community.
On already, our sponsor is all of the radio stations. We got Bahamas Air. We got Collect. We're going to have, you have the Beauty Shack. We have Missouri, we have the Plug, we have ESC distributors, and many more will come on board, okay? Including the Rock Sound workers in Rock Sound, and we're gonna be putting the locals and all to work. This is gonna be a production. This is gonna be an event. This is gonna be off the chain.
Well, when our news weekend comes back from the break, Community Give Back, a local rehabilitation and fitness center celebrating 10 years in business with a Weekend Vibes health fair. We'll tell you all about it right after this break.
Diet-friendly special.
Paramount Rehabilitation and Fitness is celebrating 10 years in business. They commemorated the milestone in grand style with a full week of events, concluding the festivities yesterday with a health fair featuring various vendors on their grounds. Lead physical therapist Dr. McCullough Roll says the vendors represent just a small portion of their support village.
We have Just Stop Deli. My Aunt Lisa, she will hold it down in terms of the salads and the different meats and the stuffed crab and the teas, like the tasty teas, in order to reduce inflammation and that sort of thing. Then there's Bahamas Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies. We always order from them. We use them almost on a monthly basis for our supplies here, and they're out supporting the event. Then we also have Just Thrive.
The health fair not only served as a festive moment for the facility, but also a contribution to the community. The event hosting a workshop on how to relieve back pain. Dr. Roll says these workshops are held monthly as Paramount Rehabilitation is committed to equipping residents with the knowledge needed to improve their health.
Every month we try to speak to a different topic, whether the first one was on knee pain. We had a lot of people come out and like that, and then this one we talked about sciatica and back pain. You know, a lot of people, over 80% of the population suffers from back pain, and that is what we want to do. We want to give back to people in need, especially those in joint and back pain, who suffer from joint and back pain. Become more active and live life free from painkillers, injections, or surgery.
All right, well, still to come on Our News Weekend, we're still feeling the love. The Nassau Cruise Port hosting their annual Back to Love concert last night. Our Danielle Miller was there, and she's got the recap. But first,
it was bombs away for Buddy Hield in the NBA three-point contest last night. We're going to find out how he did next on Our Sports Weekend.
Diet-friendly special.
Good evening, happy Sunday. Welcome to Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. Buddy Hield took part in a starry three-point contest as a part of the All-Star Saturday night, where he advanced to the finals. Unfortunately, he would come up just short. Let's take a look. The Grand Bahama-born sharpshooter got off to a white-hot start in his home arena in San Francisco, scoring a competition-high 31 points in the first round. That tied a record for the most points in a round set by his teammate Steph Curry in 2021, en route to the finals. In the final, he went against Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat, who scored 24 points. Buddy would miss the first 7 shots of the round, rallying to get to 23, but a miss in the final rock would seal the win for Hero. Hero was the first Heat player to win a three-point contest since James Jones in 2011, but he previously won the contest in 2020. We really wish he could have got just one on that first rock, but it was a fun show nonetheless. Congratulations to Buddy. Now we head to the ring, where a Bahamian will make a bid to defend his belt. Carl Hield recently announced that he will head to Colombia to defend his belt. The 38-year-old will put his undefeated 9-0 pro record on the line on February 26 when he fights Anthony Saez of Venezuela for the WBA Super Carib featherweight title. The New Providence-born fighter has been fighting over 2 decades, most recently knocking out Edwin Gamboa in December in front of a home crowd at Bahamas to preserve his undefeated streak. Now he's headed to South America to stand on business. This newscast is all about the Heels. Best of luck to Carl in his title defense. The NBA All-Star Game is about to start right now. Enjoy that. I know I will. That's a wrap for sports for this evening. For Our Sports Weekend, I'm Tej Adderley.
Thanks so much, Tej. On the other side of this break, we take a look at your Sunday evening weather forecast with meteorologist Ian McKenzie. Stick with us.
diet-friendly special.
Welcome back, and thanks for sticking with us. Well, it's that time on a Sunday evening where you wind down for the week ahead. And to help you plan weather-wise, here's meteorologist Ian McKinsey. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Sunday evening forecast. A bit on the warmer side. Outside our studios, we have 78, partly cloudy skies. Feels like slightly high at 79. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. Across the country, in our nation's second city, Freeport, we have 77, Alistown, 78 in Nicholstown, Great Harbour Key, and in the capital, 76 in Marsh Harbour, 79 in Governor's Harbour. Central Bahamas, 80s in Camps Bay, 78 in Georgetown and Deadman's Key, Long Island, a pair of 77s in Arthurstown and in Coburn Towns in Salvador. Southeast Bahamas, 78 continuing in Duncantown and in Abrahams Bay, as well as Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, 79s in Colonel Hill and Delectable Bay, and 80 in Matthewtown in Agua. Satellite and radar imagery at this time, we have an active frontal system that's approaching the Florida Panhandle, should make its way through the central, eventually southeast Florida, and into the extreme northwest Bahamas through Monday, and eventually push through the capital by about Tuesday. Some showers and possible even some severe weather activity across the extreme northwest Bahamas sometime tomorrow. In your boating forecast, we still have a caution out there for you boaters, primarily due to those swells. Winds west-southwest to west-northwest as the front pushes through at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4, but up to 7 feet offshore in those easterly swells. High tide at 10:31 p.m. tonight, low tide at 4:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, again, caution in effect and a risk for rip currents due to those swells. Winds are falling off easterly 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4, but up to 7 feet in those swells. In your extended forecast, expect some showers as the front pushes through us Monday and then stalls out just south of us. Lingering showers associated with that. The next one is expected to push through us around Thursday. Temperatures should dip again, and then an active frontal system sometime around Sunday. That should bring some showers into the start of next week. Those highs getting around in the low 80s, dipping down into the upper 70s at times, with your lows low 70s, upper 60s by the end of the week. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, productive week, everyone.
Do you remember where you were the first time you heard your favorite love song? Classics like Baby Come to Me or You Are My Lady. Well, last night, the Back to Love concert took attendees back in time, helping them to relive those memories while also creating new ones. Our Danielle Miller has the highlights.
The Back to Love concert, hosted by Alpha Sounds, was a star-filled event as hundreds gathered at the Nassau Cruise Port, captivated by the aura of romance. Decked in all white, the audience rocked for old times' sake to the sounds of international R&B icons Regina Belle and Freddie Jackson. But the evening's magic was not isolated to the performances of Freddie and Regina. Featured artists also included local sensations, the Essence Band, and vocalist Travis Clark.
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
I'm still nervous. I'm still nervous. But at the end of the day, we do this, and this is what we love. When adrenaline kicks in, it just kicks in, and it's show go.
It's also a reminder to the power of music and how it can connect generations, because we are not icons. We're striving to be, and we're following the footsteps of these icons.
To be able to be here tonight to be in another space where, there's a little bit of a different culture, but music bringing us all together.
With roses in hand, Freddie Jackson delivered a performance that went far beyond the music. Last year, the Grammy-nominated artist announced his battle with kidney disease. He says the energy he felt from the audience as he performed touched him at his core, giving him an unforgettable moment in time.
In spite of what I announced, they came here to give me love. And I'm so grateful to the Bahamians for that. A lot of people don't get that You know, sometimes people turn their back. But those people who were there did not turn their back, sat there, understanding what I'm going through. And they're praying for me. I know that they are.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepard here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.